Hi, I'm Jennifer Potter, Executive Director of Be Well Texas. Too many people are struggling alone these days, and alcohol and drug deaths are increasing. We started Be Well Texas to offer high-quality, science-based addiction treatment and recovery services anywhere, virtually or in person. In many cases, there is no cost for treatment or medications if you don't have insurance. Really. Welcome to Be Well Texas. We're glad you're here. Visit BeWellTexas.org.
Hello and welcome to March to the Pot, presented by Turtle Roofing. This show is doing about as well as the game was tonight, because I've got to figure out where that is now. There it is.
Yeah.
Hey, we're live. We're live on Twitter. Hopefully, we're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. We are live everywhere, and we are discussing the Cats' 10-7 win over Florida International. And before we get into the game, Ben, because this is going to be, it wasn't good. Okay, it wasn't pretty, but we got to give props, because it doesn't matter. Somebody told me tonight in the text, it doesn't matter if you win. Doesn't matter if you win ugly. All that matters is if you win.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what they did. I mean, and you'll take it however you can get it. It's a short week, 6-day week going on the road with your backup quarterback, no Noah Smith. And FIU, I mean, they were a team that probably should have beat Liberty on the road. So you'll take them how you can get them, no matter how they look.
So props to Sam Houston for the first bowl game. It will be the first bowl game appearance in school history. We have all that ready to go for you right there. My name is Corey Hogue. Hey, it's going to keep playing because I am not on it tonight. There we go. My name is Corey Hogue. I'm the non-FBS insider at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Find me on your favorite social media channels at Corey Hogue Sports. That's all one word. CORYHOGUE Sports. The knowledge of this show, and the only one with sanity left after this game, is the creator and manager of Sports of SHSU on Twitter and Instagram. Again, all one word. He's the chief operating officer of the Cat Fund, proud Bearcat alum, Ben Sorrells. And you start with Noah Smith out, Hunter Watson out. Honestly, Ben, I think it's important to say to even go ahead and start kind of talking about the Cat Fund here and go ahead and get that going, because if you were a member of the Cat Fund, you knew 3 days ago that Jace Bauer was the quarterback.
Yeah. We previewed the injury update a little bit there. I think it was Sunday. So yeah, that info was in there. We also had basketball scrimmage info. I was there Saturday for that. We had our golf tournament and auction, which was just a huge success. We got our first batch of orders for the Take Back Texas hats. So about half of those came in. So if you were in the first half of orders, they should be in probably about a week. If you're in the back half, it'll probably be about another 2 to 3 weeks until we get those in. So a lot of really exciting stuff going on at Cat Fund. Just a lot of really positive momentum around campus, and definitely want to sign up at cat-fund.com. Producer put it right there on the screen, doing a great job. So as little as $10 a month, you can sign up and support these athletes at cat-fund.com.
We have comments coming in, and we're going to get to them here very soon. So I want to go ahead. We got the Cat Fund in. Let's go ahead and give a shout out to our presenting sponsor as well, our friends over at Eternal Roofing. Listen, they are your people. If you need roofing, if you need general contracting, whatever you need throughout the Hill Country and the Houston area, and heck, the state of Texas, Taylor Andrus and his group are the ones to call for that. How you get a hold of them? Well, they have a website, eternalroofingtx.com. I recommend you go there, check out the gallery. While you're there, you can email Taylor at eternalroofingtx.com. Montgomery County office area code 936-215-8539. And then the Hill Country, it's area code 830-251-5673. And quickly, because it's not going to take real long, we're going to run down a recap of this game. And Ben, it started with I thought this was going to be the start of a great night. As soon as Kavian Gaither, who, by the way, I've had that announcer, poor guy, had a hard time getting that right all night. Once he was corrected by the public address announcer, that one made me laugh.
Yeah, he messed up the first name, and then he would mess up the last name, then he'd flip back to the first name.
It was a rough night for everyone, people. It really was. But Kavian Gaither had this interception right here.
Empty set for Jenkins. And the lefty zips it right into the arms of the opposing team. Intercepted by Kavian Gaither on the first throw of the game.
Well, not a way you want to start the ball game for FIU. And you wonder, Jenkins is battling that shoulder a little bit. They said he was not limited in practice. Looked pretty good coming into this ball game, but that is just a poor decision and a great read by the defensive back, or the linebacker, I should say, kind of getting out there when you're.
He finally landed on what that was, Ben. That was a very poor decision. But hey, Kavian Gaither doesn't care what the decision looked like, because he was able to get a big time interception right there for the Cats early on.
Yeah, and he had a huge night. I'm looking over the stat sheet right now: 7 tackles, a TFL, an interception, a pass breakup. So he was everywhere. In the past couple of weeks, he has really started to show up in the stat sheet, and he got things going there. I mean, he needed it there early on.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Cats weren't able to do anything with that at all, and there really wasn't, quite honestly, there wasn't a lot left to go in the first half. We're going to go ahead and fast forward all the way down to the timeout before the fourth down play. The Cats are down deep in the end zone. Yes, we're going to get to the missed field goals. All that's coming up, but these are just, we're going to go over the video plays here first. Timeout before the fourth down play late in the first half. I'm just going to add this to the stage right here and watch. When they call this timeout, Ben, this is one of those things we talk about quite often on this show, is about numbers. And when they start in this set right here, they have FIU's got the numbers to the strong side. Everything says this run is going to the strong side, where the running backs lined up, where the strong side of the offensive line is. Then all of a sudden they switch. Now look, the defense moves a little bit, but look at the numbers on the left side of this. That was open for an outside run right there. Just toss it, and instead they call a timeout right there. And after they call a timeout, then they run this play on the goal line. We'll just run
in the backfield.
There you go.
Now under center. Bauer will keep. Is he in? No sign yet. FIU has a goal line stand at the end of the first half.
Yeah. So a team that does not go out from under center very often, doesn't run this very often, is going to just take the ball and try to shove it right down the strength of this defense, where they've got 6 bodies, Ben. That just isn't a good call.
And that was a long yard too. I mean, the line, the black marker there for the line, it's even slightly behind the 1 yard line. So, I mean, it's a yard and a third. I mean, typically with those tush pushes, you want to be right there on the goal line, but you had a yard plus to go. So I didn't like it for that part. And then 2, you get the ball coming out of the half. So if you can pick up 3 points there, I know the kicking game hasn't been great, but I still feel like Pavon can hit an 18-yarder. He showed he can make a 20-yarder at the end. I much rather would have taken the points there, especially knowing you got the ball to start the second half, because you didn't know when you were going to have another opportunity to score points with the way things were going.
Yeah, see, I was okay with that, because I hate 20-yard field goals unless it's like at the very end of the game when you need it to win. You just don't win football games if the field goal is 20 yards or less. That's the way I feel about it. I realize that sometimes I'm not right, but I was okay with the call. I was not okay with the play call, especially coming out of a timeout after seeing how they adjusted to what you did the first time. It just lacked creativity. And again, that's something we're going to get into throughout here. At halftime, it was 0-0. Second half, there was a penalty called here, and we're just gonna play the punt here, and then we'll discuss.
But again, a lot of credit goes to that defensive front getting off the field and creating the pressure.
Punt is away. Dean Patterson inside his own 25. Late fair catch, ball on the turf. Who's on top of it?
Well, it doesn't really matter who's on top of it. And for the record, it was Florida International on top of it. But this was a 15-yard penalty. And at the time, it really felt like this was going to be a big play in the game. How in the world is this kick catch interference is what it's called? When he catches this ball, and I don't know how I just made it stop right at the perfect time. When he touches this ball at the 27-yard line, there is no Bearcat player within a yard of him. It's only when he drops the ball that the Bearcats converge on top of him. And for some reason, the back judge is coming in with that flag out, Ben. I don't understand it. And as we look at the replay of it, I mean, when he touches it, you could see there was a lot of distance there.
Yeah, and it was surprising. He doesn't even have his hand on the flag, doesn't have his hand on the flag, doesn't have his hand on the flag, still doesn't. And then he throws it while there's a scrum going on. So it didn't make a lot of sense. Thankfully, things ended up being okay there, but that was a play that really could have flipped it because I think they went from the 28-yard line to the 43. Yeah. And with the way the offenses were moving, if they would have taken that drive down, who knows what could have happened.
Well, they didn't. The defense stood up again, and then Jalen Jimerson said, all right, guys, I've had enough of this. Let's find a way to get some points on the board.
Montiel to punt. It's blocked. Bearcats are on top of it. Could go to the house. Is it a touchdown? No. Knocked out of bounds, but a massive special teams play for Sam Houston. Jalen Jimerson on the block and scoop.
Oh, this is huge. Right up the middle. Unblocked. And then recovers the football. Now, will this become a huge turning point type of play? Can they find a way to get in the end zone? Goodness, the way this game has gone, I just think one play like that could be the difference in who wins the game. You know, and they've had special teams blunders, multiple blunders tonight, Matt.
Yes, we're aware of the multiple special teams blunders. We will get to that, dag nabbit. But hey, some good special teams play. And I think what really got me about this one, Ben, is that there were about 3 Bearcats that could have blocked that punt.
Yeah, I mean, and I was going to make the exact point you were talking about. I mean, I kind of feel like the special teams had to make up for the lack of effectiveness, for a better word, there at the beginning of the game. Kickoffs out of bounds, running into our punt returner twice, having the ball laying at the 1-yard line. So it was good to see things even out a little bit there on special teams, and good to see them make a play.
They were not special for a lot of the night, but they weren't all bad, and that was important. That was a big play, and then a couple plays later, the offense finally put the ball in the end zone, but it still was not enough to shut the announcers up when the last time that Sam Houston scored in the fourth quarter.
Of a score against the Panthers defense. McKinney right up the middle for a touchdown, breaking the scoreless tie in Miami.
DJ McKinney right up, and now again we look at this here. This is the same lineup as the end of the first half, minus where the running back is. This time the running back's on the right, which is a sign that, hey, a lot of times they do go opposite of where the quarterback is, especially if it's a read type of play. This time they do not motion. It does not matter. The left side of that line opened up a gigantic hole for DJ McKinney, and the Cats got a touchdown.
Yeah, and I mean, it was almost like a monkey off your back at that point. It had been pretty much a full game plus some until you had scored. I think it was 8 minutes left in the second quarter against WKU, so it was good to see finally get in the end zone, build a little bit of confidence there, and then also to see Christian Pavon make the extra point also to build a little bit of confidence there that you needed for the kick at the end of the game. So it was just good to get the monkey off the back, get on the board, get Pavone to see the kick go through. Really needed that in the absolute worst way.
Yeah, I mean, look, he'd missed like 4 straight field goals,
Yep.
so that
Battling the flu too, apparently.
Yes, he was battling the flu. They mentioned a couple of times. Look, hope the kid feels okay. At least he got the one that mattered at the end. But before that, here is a 3rd and goal play late in the 4th before they called Christian Pavon on for his 20-yard field goal.
That drive, it went over 8 minutes. FIU can't afford that here with 2.5 to play and 2 timeouts for the Panthers plus the 2-minute timeout. Less than 10 on the play clock.
And good job of Bowers using all the play clock.
Bauer gives it to McKinney. He is stacked up in the backfield. Taken down by a swarm of.
I have a hard time with this play call as well, Ben. The video's kind of messing up on it here, but I have a hard time with that play call as well. It just run it straight up into the line. Look where all the defense is located. You have 9 in the box right there, and you've got them outflanked to the right side with your tight end and your tackle. You've got 2 tight ends over there, really, essentially. You had them outflanked. Why not try something out wide?
And I mean, it had been working to that drive. I mean, getting some motion going, getting outside, even throwing the ball upfield a little bit to the tight ends. I mean, once we got inside the 10-yard line there, and it happened multiple times tonight, I just kind of feel like the play calling stalled and we're kind of playing for a field goal. Got away from what your identity is a little bit. So play calling tonight was definitely a little questionable. And within the 10-yard line, it was very questionable, I feel like. But win's a win, and you'll take it, I guess.
Yeah, and speaking of that, we got comments here bringing in from the show. There it is right here. SHSU Abzulu said, never thought an angry win was a thing. Don't be too angry about it because you're going bowling.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean,
That's
we'll take it. We would be a lot angrier if it was a loss. So
yes, because Jason Plunkett says, great day to be a Bearcat. Like, this tells you the emotions of this team. I think there were times that I saw it on Twitter. I said it myself, Ben. I think I texted it to you. When did they revert back to 2023? It felt like that for a whole lot of that game. They just were able to pull it out.
yeah, I mean, kind of feels like they lost their swagger a little bit with Hunter Watson going down and Noah Smith out. But I mean, to put that last drive together, even though it ended up with 3 points, I mean, you drove down 50, 60 yards, had to do it. You did what you had to do. You put points on the board. You knew if you put points on the board, that was probably going to do it. So to see them come up with that, I mean, the Cardiac Cats, I know there's a comment about it too, but Cardiac Cats always seem to come through, and they did tonight.
They do. Well, go and pull that one up. SHSU Abzulu. The Cardiac Cats are always clutch, but I need some warning when to take my meds ahead of the game. Yeah, you should have started taking those meds right about the time you read on Cat Fund that Hunter Watson was going to be out this week.
Yeah, and I mean, he should be back next week. It sounds like we'll have more info, I'm sure, throughout the week. But hopefully, I mean, Bauer looked half decent 2 of the last 3 drives. You started to see them move the ball a little bit, so especially that last drive. Hopefully, that's some sort of momentum moving forward. Yeah, someone said they saved the play calling for the last drive.
I was just pulling that up. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully
they saved it for the last drive. I do want to talk about that, honestly, Ben, because listen, last year was the first year under Brad Cornelison. This year, Hunter Watson has been a big part of the offense. Here's my concern, and I am not advocating for any sort of a change. I have nothing to say in any of that. There's a lack of creativity, though, in this offense quite often. And you had all week to prepare. You know Jace Bauer's strengths. I expected the game plan to be a little better.
Yeah, I did too. To fit his skill set a little better and to get to kind of fall on the other end of it. Cornelsen, I thought, had done a really good job through the first 5 or 6 games establishing an identity. But at the same time, with a different quarterback in there, you've got to find whatever that new identity is. And it still feels like they're kind of struggling to find it. So did a good job through the first 5, 6 games. But when Bauer's in there, you've got to figure something out.
Well, in the look, it's not all on Cornelsen. The offensive line did not open up holes tonight. They did not get that running game going. Granted, I get it. FIU was packing the box, expecting what they were getting from Bauer. The other thing, and I'm going to say this, I think they got to simplify. If Bauer's going to be in there, they have to simplify the passing game, because Bauer's a 1-2, and then he's going to run a lot of times after one. It's just got to be simplified.
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like the strength of Hunter Watson's game is he can run the RPO better than almost anyone out there. If it's a run, he's going to make that decision. If it's a run to the running back, he'll make that decision. If he needs to run a little bit and then throw it, he can make that decision. For Bauer, all those options kind of getting in his head slow him down a little bit. Gets a little complicated, need to simplify it. And I think we saw that on the last drive with the kind of just roll out, tight end, 6-7 yards kind of there towards the sideline. And that got you moving a little bit. So hopefully we see more of that going forward as long as Bauer's in there.
Elijah Sohn played swimmingly. Jason Plotkin said, did you get that? Did you get that reference there? He played swimmingly. Jason Plotkin said, Coach Mudge may have some heart medication suggestions. Let's say, here we go. No, that's Hooten's prescription. Woo! La Tech's offense wasn't thrilling versus UTEP tonight. They are playing in the fourth quarter, 2.5 minutes to go. And La Tech is up 14-10. They finally scored another touchdown.
We're rooting for a UTEP win and La Tech to just continue to slide coming into next week.
Look, I always root for a UTEP win. Well, unless they're playing another team from Texas, then I just officially don't care. But when you play any team from La Tech, yeah, I mean, look, they got to go beat the male Texters. It's just how it goes. Speaking of that,
looks like
next
they're getting
week,
the ball back.
Yeah, hey, let's we'll keep going down this one. We talked a little bit about some of the things that didn't go well. The not so special teams, the punting, the punt return where you run into your own guy twice in a row, the field goal misses, the kickoffs going out of bounds. My problem with the special teams on this, Ben, is we've been talking about it all year with the grades not being good and everything. And Texarkana said, hey, La Tech may fire their coach if they lose this game. I don't know if Ivy's going to make a call during the season like that, but it definitely doesn't look good for Sonny right now there. No doubt about it. But back to what I was talking, it's something that by now I would have think they would have had it fixed.
And it feels like it's kind of progressively getting worse throughout the year. Not sure why that is, but especially with Christian Pavon, started the year so strong and he was the backup. You would think the jitters would be there at the beginning, and it's kind of snowballed. I know he had the flu tonight. Kicking game wasn't the best, but I mean, overall 11 kicks out of bounds this year. That's 10, 15 yards times 11. That's 100 plus yards you've given up in special teams just right there. And it feels like every time that we kick it out of bounds, they go down and score. It's kind of like in baseball. If you walk the leadoff hitter, it's like they're guaranteed to come around, it feels like. And that's the vibe you get. So things have definitely got to be cleaned up there a little bit, because didn't really bite you today, but it very well may bite you down the road.
Well, and it didn't bite them today because they got lucky. Because the other team was on whatever walk-on quarterback Peary was. And by the way, 2 E's, P, 2 E's, R-Y, or 3 E's. How many ever E's there were is not Perry, in my opinion. So I'm going to call him Peary.
Yeah, grammar class with Corey.
And look, those guys, it wasn't a good night for anyone, man. It wasn't a good night for the announcers. It wasn't a good night for the broadcast. They came back from timeout that one time. You missed an entire play. You're watching the receiver, and he's not even doing nothing, right?
Yeah. I mean, in the commercials that you get on CBS Sports Network and ESPN and ESPN2, ESPNU for these games are very interesting. Broadcast teams are very interesting too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is one thing I noticed there, and when I was talking about reverting back to 2023, there seemed to be a little bit of a lack of focus tonight. Is that just the midweek games starting to catch up to these guys, or what can we attribute that to?
I think it's a little bit of everything. Fatigue, late. I mean, you're starting to get late in the season. You got one more week until your big bye, your 16-day bye. Midweek games, I think, as much as you try to plan for them and game plan, I mean, you're just not ready for a Tuesday, Wednesday night game. I feel like the product for a lot of these Conference USA games has not been great. And I would attribute maybe a small portion of that to the weekday schedule. I mean, it is very hard to adjust your schedule and play on a Tuesday night. And then also on the Sam Houston side, down a couple players, 6-day week, got to go on the road, long road trip. Or long flight, and I mean, you're probably just gassed. And that's why I said at the beginning, any win that you can take is a win, especially when it gets you to bowl eligibility.
Yeah, it is. And look, I do feel like, as Conference USA owes America an apology for what we're putting out there on some of these nights. I just do. It hadn't been good. To finish recapping this game on a positive note, that defensive line on that final drive, holy
all night
moly.
too, yeah.
Florida International had no chance on that. All they could do was hold on. Like, every one of those holding penalties were well earned by about 3 Bearcat defensive linemen getting to the quarterback. They were going to eat.
Yeah, and I think the group of the game had to be the D line. So you got Javon Leon, edge rusher, with 5 tackles. He was always in the backfield. You had Chris Murray from
Wichita Falls.
He had 4 tackles, 2 tackles for loss and a sack. Also had a quarterback hit. He was also the guy that the holding was called on there on the final drive. So he forced that holding call. Was just a nightmare all night long. Isaiah Nixon had a stack. So your 3 main edge rushers, I mean, really came to play tonight. And I think I don't want to say they won the game for you, but they were a very big reason why you won the game.
Yeah, hey, the addicted bettors are not happy. As
It's
they
bad,
just
man.
Like Zulu said, listen, yeah, okay. Fill me in on what's going on with these addicted bettors.
If you go to the Sam Houston football account, look at the halftime post, third quarter post, in the game post, it's 30 comments, 25 of them are "you screwed me on the over, you screwed me on the -5," and then 5 of them are "we're going to a bowl game, like great win." So I mean, and last week when we lost, I saw Isaiah Cash tweet. He was like, "These degenerate gamblers are crazy, but we'll be back next week." So I mean, they're even tweeting at the players. I mean, it's out of control. And I've seen some DMs sent to our basketball players in the past. Just some of the craziest crap you've ever heard. It's so stupid. I wish it wasn't that way. Yeah, someone saying Cash called them out. Yep.
Yeah, Texas Cantina said they're so mean on Twitter. Cash called about. Yeah, listen, as someone who has heard at times, I get fan mail, as I like to call it. There's a reason why I have a public Facebook page, and my private page, you cannot find me because my name is nowhere on there, right? Like, you're just not going to find it. And it's because of how these people can be sometimes. And look, it is what it is. They're passionate. These gamblers, they need to be in counseling more than they need to be watching. And this comes from someone who used to gamble on these Tuesday and Wednesday night games all the time.
Well, and it's funny. One of the Sam Houston burners, I can't remember which one. There's a million of them, but he commented under the I think the third quarter post. The gambling helpline email and number is this if you need to contact it or something like that.
I would like for the football account to put that out at the end of one of those.
Yeah. So
Hey, speaking of that, let's go ahead and update our standings. It's not going to be pretty for either of us here. Ben followed
4
my
L's
lead.
tonight, I think.
Yeah, no. Vegas said the Cats were going to win 25.5 to 21. It was a 4.5 point spread. They were way off. It was 10-7. We both had them going over, so we both lost on the spread. So you fall to 4-4 on the season against the spread. I fall to 2-6. If you're following me on any of these Sam Houston gambling things, you are losing lots of money. And then you had them to cover with a 30-20. I had them to cover 31-20. I am now 2-6 versus the spread and over/under picking Sam Houston this year. You go to 5-3. Holy moly, man.
It resulted in a win. I think this is the very first time I've been wrong on the spread and we've won. Every other time I've been wrong on the spread, we've lost. So I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah. Look, if I'm picking them, if you're looking at the spread and I don't have Sam Houston covering the spread, you're probably, really happy about that by now.
Yeah. And we're getting some live play-by-play for UTEP and La Tech in here.
Yeah, Jason Pluckin, UTEP got a prayer answered on 4th down there in La Tech.
Well, that brings up a good point. So you said a prayer on 4th down. So I tweeted this, I think, right after we got the final stop to win the game. So I'm sure some people remember this from last year, but we were up 20-17 on FIU with about 30 seconds left. FIU's at like their own 40 or so. They've got a 4th and 18, and they scramble for a 25-yard gain, kick a field goal. We go to overtime and lose. And tonight you get them in 4th and long once again, and you're able to finish it off. And so that was just very satisfying, especially for someone that was right there watching the 4th and 18 be converted last year. It was very good to be on the other side of it.
A replay of what I said before that play started. No chance they complete a 4th and 9. Have you watched this game tonight? No chance, right? Of course they did.
But Chris Murray from Wichita Falls.
Yeah. Hey, look, he got held by 2 guys.
Yeah.
Like, that's what was crazy about that. They had a review. Let's see. The call on the field was overturned. Apparently no prayer answered. And La Tech is celebrating like they done something big tonight.
Yeah, and so that's who's coming to Huntsville next week, a week from today.
Yeah, well, before we get into some of that stuff, I want to let you know we're a podcast on the Republic of Football Network and an extension of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Please like and subscribe to the podcast and follow us on the various social media platforms, including Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at March to the Pod. That's the word March, the number 2, the pod, all one word. And on Threads, we are the March to the Pod. And we also want to give our friends and presenting sponsor over at Eternal Roofing another shout out. Listen, they can do anything. We've talked about the roofing. We tell you about it all the time. I bet you could probably give it to me line for line if I know correctly around here. But what you may not know is they can do commercial roofing as well. They accommodate your HVAC system, any other roof equipment, ensuring minimal disruption to your operations during installation or repair. Get a hold of them today. You can give them a call. Montgomery County office is area code 936-215-8539. The Hill Country office is area code 830-251-5673. Or you can email Taylor at eternalroofingtx.com. And Ben, we've got some more coming in here. It's such a big deal to pull this off in our first year of eligibility. To join the others like App State and whatnot will be big. It is. No, I think that's a great point. It is time for us to talk for a moment here about what what this actually means before we actually talk about next week. That Sam Houston is bowl eligible, Ben, and I know I didn't think it was going to happen this year, and you had them kind of right on the edge. Here they are. A whole lot more wins than losses right now, and they're already bowl eligible.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the program has really taken a turn. It was a very rough start. People were doubting the move. I mean, even I had questions about it. 0-8 start, but ever since then, you're 9-3, 9-2 against other G5 teams in your last 11 or 12 games, and you've shown you can really compete at this level and win at this level. And I feel like it validates the move. And then getting to that bowl eligibility, 6 wins, I think it also validates the move. And it's something to really be proud of. I know tonight wasn't the prettiest of wins, but I mean, to get to 6 wins is just it's really an incredible feat, and it's a testament to the work that this staff and the players have done.
It really is. Hey, the Critter Eaters got to win. It's over now. They won, and by Critter Eaters, you know they eat mud bugs. Ooh, that's gross.
Oh, come on, Corey.
Mud.
You live in Texas. You got to eat.
No,
Eat
first off, no, I live in Wichita Falls. All right. And I don't know if you've ever been here, but there ain't a whole lot of bodies of water that are not dug up by men. And they call them tanks around this area, right? Like we don't have, I'm not eating seafood in Wichita Falls. It's just not happening.
Well, maybe the next time you get to Huntsville, we can get you to Big E's. I'll plug Big E's. They were our food sponsor for our auction the other night. So if you're in Huntsville, go to Big E's. They've got some great seafood and crawfish. So next time you're in Huntsville, if you need some seafood or crawfish, because Wichita Falls doesn't have it, head on out to Big E's.
Oh, when we get down that way, oh yeah, we'll go get some. My wife will eat it anyway, but crawfish isn't the Critter Eater. I'm talking. Hey! It's a family show. It's a family show.
Corey, guess what the announced attendance was tonight? I just pulled this up.
Oh God, what did they call it? What? Let's see. What'd they say it was?
10,625.
Right as you started saying it, I just pulled up here on the notes. I had the live stats up. There was a video of before the game. I should have put it on here. I thought about it. I was like, no, I'll be nice, but now I really should have, because I can count you 45 people and 30 of those are Sam Houston when FIU ran out of the damn tunnel.
Yeah, and I mean, fans always crap on Sam Houston, but the CUSA crowds have, I mean,
that was horrible. That was horrible. And let me tell you, when I hear more of a crowd of Sam Houston, who, by the way, is traveling to Miami, flipping Florida, great job, fans.
Yeah,
Seriously,
I know 3 people
up on Vice night.
The cruise ship horn. I see someone that cruise ship horn. They really leaned into the boat theme.
Yeah, well, yeah. The boat theme. Don't get me going there.
Another loss to a Texas team on Vice night. I mean, I don't know
what is that, 4?
I think it's 4. I think it's North Texas, like twice, UTEP, and Sam Houston.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that is incredible. That is something else. Oh, man. Well, the Critter Eaters, and we'll leave it right there, are coming in next week. They come in next Tuesday. And so, Ben, what do you think? We'll have a little production meeting live on air again. We'll be live after next Tuesday's game against the Male Texters.
Yeah, I mean, same plan. I'm all for it.
There we go. We will do that. And thankfully, I say thankfully, I kind of enjoy these post-game podcasts like this.
Especially after a win.
Yeah, well, yeah, much better to win than last week after a loss. But I do enjoy these. But in next Tuesday, Louisiana Tech comes in, 7 o'clock, Bauer Stadium. It is on ESPNU again. Hopefully Watson is back.
Yeah, I mean, even if he isn't, I think it's a game we should still win and be favored to win in. I feel like FIU beat Louisiana Tech. So we've got a little bit of kind of a head-to-head matchup kind of there. They've got to come to Huntsville. So I feel like even if you have to go with Bauer, I think you'll be okay. I'm thinking Watson will be back. That's not 100% confirmed yet. Don't want to take me at my word from that. But yeah, he should be back. But I think it should be a win. It's a La Tech team that is really struggling. Was very bad last year. I think they're worse this year. But we'll see. I mean, you're going to have to play a good game. You didn't play a good game tonight and almost beat you. So you're going to have to play well to win.
I think you have to play better than you did tonight, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. And I think I think at this point, listen, this team is better than what they showed tonight.
Yeah.
They are much better than what they showed tonight. And I think this lies a lot on the coaching staff, specifically the offensive coaching staff, not the defensive coaching staff. I just expect a better game plan if you've had a whole week to prepare. Hey, and I appreciate this Texas Cantina said, appreciate y'all, go Cats. Appreciate everyone watching and listening tonight too. We really do. Thank you for commenting. And again, we'll be here next week when the game against Louisiana Tech is over. But Ben, as we wrap it up here, it's 6 wins, dude. It's a bowl game.
Yeah.
Right now, that's really the bottom line tonight,
Yeah. I mean, an ugly win, but it's a monumental night in program history. This is what you worked for and kind of dreamed of when you made the move. First kind of box to check off was a bowl appearance. And you've got that. I think some of the other boxes you want to tick down the line, conference championship appearance, conference championship victory, bowl victory, but you checked off the first one, and you're making progress. And I think it validates this move. And overall, I mean, I'm very happy with where this team is.
And I do think I agree with you that I believe they are going to win the next 2 games regardless of who quarterback is.
Yeah.
I just think I would rather see the coaching staff come together on the offensive side and develop a plan, a creative plan that takes advantage of Bauer's strengths, because they are completely different.
They are very different. And I think it goes back to the reads and who Bauer's just not really capable of making the reads that Watson does. And that's okay. I mean, we saw in that last drive, if you put him in a comfortable system for him with 1 or 2, or if you just need him to hand the ball off, or if he's got 1 or 2 reads on a pass play, he can be effective. But you just can't complicate it too much for him. And that's fine. If that's who he is, you just got to cater to his abilities and his skill set.
Yeah, no, look, he is who he is. He's a one side. You played Madden, right? We play Madden. How hard is it for you to look across the entire field on a pass route before you get sacked, right? Like,
Yep.
It is so easy to get laser focused on one side of the field. A lot of quarterbacks are 1 or 2 read guys, and he's one of those. It's not. It's okay. It's not a shot at him. It's that, you got to build an offense that can take advantage of that. They started finding some of those plays. Hopefully they get back to the drawing board a little bit, get some more of that. I would like to I'm not expecting 30 points from a Bauer run offense, but I think we could get, 20 points is something that we should shoot for.
Yeah, I definitely think it's attainable too. And
they did leave 6 points on the field with missed field goals tonight, which isn't anything to do with the offense right there.
Right. And then the final point I have is, Corey, who's your MVP for tonight? Let's give some MVPs.
Oh, dude, it's got to be Chris Murray. Like, that dude was all – well, actually, I'm going to – can we go Co?
Yeah.
Because Chris Murray is one, but Kavian Gaither. Like, both of those two, without them, that game could have been a whole lot different.
So Chris Murray those were the 2 I was thinking of. And then another one came to mind that I think if he didn't make this play, we would have lost maybe, is Jalen Jimerson.
Yeah.
I know it was one individual play, but set up the touchdown, flip the field, flip the momentum. And so I'll give it to Jimerson for tonight.
Yeah, no, that was a big one. All 3 of them were worthy. Hey, it's a win. We're signing off with a win. 6 wins, 6-2. Ben Sorrells, with wins over Rice, wins over Hawaii, wins over Texas State, 6-2 through 8 games. I don't care what that looked like tonight on ESPNU. They got 6 damn wins, man.
Looked like a win to me. That's all I care about.
That is all that mattered. We want to say thank you to everyone who watched and listened tonight. Without you, none of this is possible. We are going to be back again next week after the Cats take on the Law Tech Male Textures, also known as the Bulldogs. Hey, Ben, it's time to take us out to bring home another one of those wins next week.
Eat 'em up, Cats, and can't wait to see the bowl-eligible Bearcats at Bowers next week.
Oh, we go bowling.